What podcast reviewer 37 describes as an indiscriminate hellish ride that I would not wish on my worst enemy. The industry's elite have said time and again, man, fuck those guys. Get ready, if your ears had butts, they'd about to be fucked. Welcome to the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show.
All I'm saying is you ain't thick.
No. Welcome, everyone, to another fine, wonderful, entertaining, informative, possibly...
Josh, this is like the 80th episode. They know what we're about. They know you're lying.
That's true, but this is for the people who don't know yet that I'm lying, that I'm full of shit. But welcome to the podcast with the most legitimate gats on it. This is the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Oh, man, maybe I should change it to the Gat Fuck Nowhere Show. Did you turn the PlayStation on?
That's how boring you are, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Well, we're going to talk about some things today.
One of them being how I don't have an ass, apparently, according to Frank.
I don't know. I honestly haven't checked it in months.
In months. Do you see the abuse that I am put up with? Huh. Way to go, Frank. Anyways, if you want to listen to our other podcast,
how pissed would you I could just start playing game?
I would be pretty pissed right now.
Add user.
Add user.
Anyways, if you want to go to GameRageMagazine.com, you can hear a full menu of podcasts.
He turns off like the Xbox, or
no, you got to hold it, and then it'll come up with a thing. Or go back to the beginning, and then sit down and go to that power button there, and then just hit enter rest mode.
Oh,
yeah. Anyways. Instructions for how to turn off the PlayStation 5 in case you didn't know.
Call me Station 5.
Oh, come on, GameSphere. Anyways, GameRageMagazine.com, at GameRage Magazine, Instagram and TikTok, at GameRageMag on Twitter/X. I shouldn't even bother to promote Frank now that he pissed me off thus far, but because he's here, at anime underscore
all
syndicate.
Par for the course.
All par for the course, whatever. At anime underscore syndicate underscore podcast. If you want to hear wonderful things about anime and very non-controversial, very...
Oh, yeah, I'm still setting it up.
Yeah, but people can still go there and follow it in anticipation of all of the interesting anime things that they're going to... I swear to God, if the Anime Syndicate gets more fucking followers than the fucking Game Rage, I'm going to fucking stab somebody. But anyways... What?
Nothing.
All right, so today... couple topics. Things I wanted to talk about. One being going to SeaWorld, which I haven't been to SeaWorld in like 4 or 5 years, or maybe, since Chloe's first birthday. So yeah, it's been like 5 years. So she wanted to go for her birthday. And
murderer.
I have to say it was fun. SeaWorld was a lot cooler than it used to be. I do also I kind of have a gripe.
Because you got wet?
No, not that. That was fun. That was interesting. I did contemplate. Okay, so we'll get to that, but we'll also get to this. But there was a 90s themed show there. It was a BMX show.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of cool with the exception of one thing.
You were there?
Oh, no, I was the only reason that it was cool. But...
You're lucky your wife has headphones so she can hear you say that.
What?
That you were the only reason it was cool, not you, not her and her daughter.
Oh yeah, thank God she didn't hear that. She never listens to this shit, so she'll never know.
I'll tell her.
Thanks.
We'll make it the clip.
Thanks for making it the clip. So Katie can hear this and then promptly stab me in the neck with some sort of blunt object. She's not looking at me. Anyways. So we'll get to that. So we'll start off. I guess I'll just start off chronologically. So at the beginning,
go back to the BMX show.
Well, no, that was at the end of the night. That was like the last thing we did.
Why'd you bring it up now?
I don't know. I just wanted to bring up that was the thing I had a gripe with, and I am going to go on a rant.
All right, turn the APS back on.
I'm going to go on a rant about Razor scooters.
Okay.
And how I thought they were the stupidest thing back in the 90s.
Dude, they came out.
Not even the 90s. They came out in the year 2000.
When they came out, I was like middle school.
Yeah, they came out in the year 2000.
Maybe elementary, pushing elementary.
In the year 2000, when they came out in the summer of 2000,
Not back in the 1900s
we were in like
when we were born.
Seventh grade. Yeah, not 1900s when we were born, but in the year 2000, I think we were in seventh
Scooters
grade.
have been around before then.
Maybe sixth grade.
Scooters have been around before then. It's just that Razor's the one that made them popular again.
Right. Well, Razor was the one that made them like mainstream, where every kid fucking wanted one. Because they made those little. They were sleek. They were metal. They were like whatever. And I'll say this:
super cheap.
People in the 90s, and I know I'll probably get some shit for this, but people, if you were back then, right? At least here in Southern California, there was a huge like skating scene, and it was skateboarding. The rollerbladers were okay. Everybody used to think that
that was late 80s though. I mean,
well, no, I'm talking about the people who did the tricks.
Inline skating.
Inline skating. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, inline trick.
No, it's just called inline skating, dude.
Isn't it rollerblading because it's a blade?
No, like rollerblading was the fucking like those 80s clothes and they had the 4 wheels and shit.
No, that's not inline though. That's like That's like roller skates.
Yeah, roller skates is when you're just skating around. Inline skating is when you're doing it for tricks.
Yeah, and wearing baggy clothes and no helmet. That's how it was. Anyways, so I was into skateboarding, and as I'm sure thousands of millions of other people were, but it was widely accepted in the skateboarding community. Like if you went to a skate park, right? Because there used to be a skate park at the Ontario Mills Mall.
If you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say, it's gonna be wrong.
What do you mean it's gonna be wrong?
Continue.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
That rollerblades, that inline, that scooters were accepted.
No, that's not what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that they were, and you'll see when I. So when you went to a skate park, right? It would be everybody on skateboards. There was hardly any people doing BMX because that really...
It's too small usually.
It wasn't... They weren't... I mean, the one at that Van skate park at Ontario Mills was big enough, and they eventually did incorporate BMX stuff into it. But skateboarding was the thing at the time. And there was a small contingent of people that did inline trick rollers.
Can you name a skateboarder?
Yeah, Tony Hawk.
Okay. Can you name a BMXer?
Fuck that one guy. He had spiky hair. He was in I think the Tony Hawk fucking game.
Really? I thought
Dave
you would know.
Something.
Matt Hoffman.
Oh, that's his name. Yeah, Matt Hoffman. God damn. That's the one.
Now, can you name whatever they called it for scooters?
Nope. Can't name a single one. Never fucking heard of them.
And it's funny, like the only ones, and when it comes to inline skating, all the only ones I can think of are like, what was the name of that game? It was like a music based one, and you were tagging.
Oh yeah, Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the skate park there were. I know we went off from SeaWorld, but fuck it, I'm just gonna do the tangent now. At skate park there were. Heavy number of skaters. There were a small contingent of inline trick rollerbladers. Okay, everybody used to give them shit. However, they earned respect because they were probably the most badass.
Well, I would say like when it comes to like that, I would think inline skaters would be way more athletic than skateboarders.
Well, they are.
Not athletic. Dexterous.
Yeah, well, I think that they are more athletic in general and then the other thing is the balls it took to do it, because if you fucked the trick up, you could just bail on the skateboard and run away, basically. You can't do that on skates. You're committed, and if you fuck up, you're eating shit hard. And I saw a lot of dudes that were inline skaters fucking take hit after hit after hit, whereas if we were going to go grind a rail, we could just jump off the board if we fucking hit it at the wrong angle, or if we were gonna do like some kind of a trick on a vert ramp, you could just bail. Like it was not a big deal. But skating, you can't do that, and so they earned respect, in my opinion, right? But then when the dudes started showing up with the razors, everybody without fail made fun of them. Called them names that are no longer acceptable to say in modern society, and laughed them out of the skate park. I mean, just fucking laughed them out of it. And rightfully so. And so when I saw this BMX or it was called a BMX show. That's what it was titled. So we were like, oh, cool, let's go see it. And when I go in there, I see the silhouettes because they have all this promotional shit and it's all 90s shit and it's these silhouettes or whatever. And it's BMX shit. And I'm like, cool. And I see a couple of them and I see dudes on scooters and I'm like, the fuck is this shit? So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance because Chloe really wanted to see it. And the show was good overall. They had this band come out. It was, like some SeaWorld band that they put together. I forget what the fuck the name was called of it. But they come out, they were doing all 90s songs. It was mainly Blink 182 and fucking Green Day songs that they were playing. And they were really good. The band was really good, and the guys doing tricks were really good. But
by the way, Matt Hoffman?
Yeah, is he dead?
No.
Oh. How old is he?
52.
Jesus, man, that's old, bro.
No, that's like 2 years
20,
from us.
20, well, no, not 2. Not that old.
I mean, you.
No, whatever. What do you mean? I'm already 152, so I'm way older
this cycle.
than him. Yeah. So basically,
you saw scooters.
The guys come out and they do the tricks. And listen, yes, what they're doing to maintain riding on that stupid scooter, it takes a level of athleticism. Okay, sure. But literally all of the tricks are just flipping it around and that's it. You just flip it around. That's all the tricks you can do with the thing. And
are you talking about SeaWorld?
Yes, I'm talking about how I hate the fucking Razor scooters. And they were the stupidest thing in the 2000s when they came out. And I still firmly believe that 24 years later, that they are the stupidest fucking things on the planet. And I am so offended that this was considered a professional X game or whatever the fuck it was. This was considered professional level because I'll say this, the guys that were there at the show when they introduced them kind of at the end and they gave their credits, I guess, of what they were, man, they're the BMX guys, they were legit professional athletes. They were X Games gold medalists. They were on Team USA, all this shit, right? For BMX stuff. And there was a dude that they had that was I don't remember what it's called. I don't know if it's like freestyle, but it's the guys that the bike's there and they're just crawling all over the bike doing weird shit and making it do shit but on flat ground. They're not on the ramps or anything like that. And that guy was fucking really good too. That guy was like a fucking like multi-time international world champion at that. Mm-hmm. And cool as shit. Cool to see that these guys still get to make a living doing what they love doing, which is basically just they do 2 shows a day. Two 25-minute shows a day, man. And cool. They're in, they're out, they get fucked, and they go home. But these scooter guys also had credits. And I was just thinking to myself, these guys, this should have never been allowed. One of the guys was like, I guess like one of the number 1 scooter dudes in the world. And I was fucking appalled that scootering is being seen on the same level. And additionally, what appalled me even more was that in a 90s themed show, because that's what they blew this out as at the beginning, was this is all your favorite stuff from the 90s. X Games, all this shit, extreme sports, that was like huge in the 90s. That stuff got big. It was no longer just asshole kids skateboarding on the street. This became professional athletics. This became professional sports. It became a professional athlete type of thing, right?
It's not in the Olympics, though.
No, but it became a professional sport, right? So my offense was that skateboarding wasn't involved. There were no skaters there at all. It was 2 scooter guys and two vert ramp BMX guys and 1 like ground level BMX guy.
So I'm assuming the same reason for that is the same reason why we usually don't win the gold in the Olympics when it comes to skateboarders. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think there's a skateboarder alive with a high level talent that can pass a drug test.
Yeah, that's true. But SeaWorld ain't fucking giving drug tests.
For the insurance reason, yes.
I don't know, man. They ain't
No, for
doing
shit
it.
like that, you need high level insurance, and insurance companies like that will not insure you if you have people under the influence. That's why you have to pass a drug test to get insurance.
Well, maybe you just don't do your shit for a week or two and get it out of your system, and then fucking go right back to doing it. I don't know, but either way, it would still piss me off that there was no skating.
If they can't get into the Olympics, they're not getting into fucking SeaWorld.
I don't know, man. I don't think they're all like that, though.
Again, any place that requires insurance is going to require a drug test.
Yeah, but they had to have been able to find guys that could have done that. I don't think that was even a thought.
That can compare to gold medalists in bicycling and BMXing?
No, I think it should have been BMXing and skating. I don't think scootering should have been involved at all.
I'm telling you, they had to scrape the bottom of the barrel because nobody could pass a drug test.
Maybe, but I also feel like they didn't even care to look really for skaters. I think they were like, oh, the kids love the scootering. Let's go with the scootering. The razor scootering.
Again, yes, Josh. A theme park dedicated to children was going to promote the childish things.
Maybe, I don't know. But also, it's funny you bring up the insurance thing because when we did the Sea Lion show there at the SeaWorld, Chloe got picked to be the kid in charge of, or the kid that was like the kid volunteer.
Yeah.
And then they picked her, and then they said, oh, did you want to be the adult volunteer? And I'm like, the adult volunteer? Okay, fuck yeah, that sounds fine. So they basically tell me the way it's going to work is Chloe's going to, have spin her arm around, and the sea lion's going to do a spin in the water, and she's going to make him do a trick. And then he's going to jump up on a little platform, and then she's going to go stand next to him, like hold his flipper and, like fucking whatever, take a picture with him. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to try and get me to do a trick with the sea lion. And then I'm going to turn around. It's not going to work because I'm with the like sea lion who's like the rebel. And then they're going to take a picture with me. And when I take the picture, he's going to fucking splash the shit at me and get me fucking wet. Right. That's the whole like joke. So we do all that. And then during the show, at the end, the one guy who was the trainer for the seal that was the good seal, he's backing up and he fucking eats shit so hard. Like, I mean, he goes flat, and because it's like super slippery up there, and he goes flat, and like I saw him from the back end, but you could tell he fucking cracked his face on the ground. And when he got up, his fucking he broke his nose, dude. Like, there's no question. But I'll give the man credit. He stuck with it. He said his fucking lines. Like, you could tell he was like fucked up. He said his fucking lines. And the second it was done, he's like, I gotta get back, because he was just fucking. And then obviously it's all wet, so like that just makes it look even worse. Mm-hmm. But man, it was credit to that dude. I don't even know what his name was, but credit to that guy at the SeaWorld show. I hope you get your nose fixed. I hope SeaWorld gets your nose fixed, because man, you took one for the team on that one. And
Sorry,
what?
Back when I was in HVAC school, one of my teachers was telling us about this special type of compressor that's used on the industrial commercial side. And what was special about this is it had a remote diagnostic system. Yeah. So you can activate it through your phone. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the technicians that was authorized to use said app. Mm-hmm. And he said he went to SeaWorld one day with his family. Mm-hmm. And you know those stalls that they have out down on that one main lane?
Okay.
Where they have like hundreds of, not hundred, but like a shit ton of stalls. Uh-huh. And something about there was a lot of them are refrigerated for, ice cream and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he noticed that a bunch of them had the where that
thing would work.
So he went into it, since he was his authorization came from the corporation. So his overrides SeaWorld's authorization.
Oh, so he could like look at it and see what's up?
Yeah. So he did that, and he finds out that no, they didn't even change it. It was still set to the original.
Oh, damn.
So he just kept fucking with them. Just turns off. 10 minutes later, the guy's like, what the fuck? Trying to get the AC working. I mean, not the AC, but he says, oh shit, the fucking fridge temperatures, the freezer's getting too hot. And then he would like turn back on, turn back off, turn back on. And he would do he did it for like an hour. And then that's when the park manager came in there and tried to see the park manager and the service technician came in. And so he went up to him and says, hey, by the way, whoever saw this where he didn't tell you what to do, and he was like shunning how he was fucking with them.
Yeah.
Here's my card if you want me to fix it, and he just walks off.
Dang. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good. But yeah, SeaWorld, it was in general, it was cool. Like, we saw all the shows basically, and they were fun. They had a pirates show, like a pirate versus mermaid show that was pretty good. The one mermaid they had like hanging on that, I don't know what it's called, but it's that thing where that sheet hangs down and then they do the twirling shit in there. There's a name for it.
Circus Delay?
Huh?
Circus Delay.
It's kind of like that, but there's a name for that specific thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It's like aerobatics or whatever. It's some kind of thing like that. But man, this chick was fucking shredded, dude. I mean, like shredded. She had like a 12 pack just glistening in the sunlight, shredded. And there was one of the dudes, they had these sea-doos that they were going around in there. And they had those ones that they were like, they modified them so you could take them like underwater. And
they're I know they do that.
It was like some submersible thing. That
they did at the Waterworld show at Universal.
Yeah. And so they were fucking doing those, and that was cool. And then they had when the Blackbeard type character, I forget what his, I think his name was Blackheart or something stupid like that. But when he gets the little jewel of the sea and he becomes powerful, they hooked him up to those. It's like the water jetpack thing.
Yeah.
But they had one where it's on your feet, like it hooks up to your feet.
Yeah. They're called waveboards or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But dude, this guy was going like 50, 60, 70, like he was going high and just going all around. It was cool. It was a cool show. All right, good night. Love you.
Love you.
It was a cool show. It was I have to say, it was very entertaining. I was sports entertained on that one 100%. And SeaWorld was expensive, but I got discounted tickets, so it wasn't too bad of a deal. But we were thinking about taking her to Disneyland because I was like, oh, maybe we should take her to Disneyland. And one Disneyland ticket for a 1-day, 1-park pass was more expensive than what we paid for all 3 of our SeaWorld tickets.
And you're going during fucking 4th of July, so
yeah,
it would have been packed as hell.
Yeah, 4th of July or at SeaWorld, it was real easy to get in. I mean, I'm not going to say it was empty by any stretch, but it was not packed. I mean, we basically didn't wait in any lines for shit. We walked right into shows. There was no, the shows were maybe half full at most. But yeah, all the exhibits, everything was just walk right up. No lines to get into nothing. Feeding all the stupid little sea lions in the end. Everything was just walk right up. Oh yeah, here's $10. Here you go. Fuck yeah. Feed the animals. And so I will say too, man, like, I don't know. Like I don't know if it's this thing, like my mom has this thing where she had like some acid reflux type deal. And GERD maybe, I think is what it is specifically for her. And I think I've always had some like small level of that.
I've seen you eat. No, you don't.
Well, no. So it's only at specific times, and it's specific times when I don't eat something. I don't eat for a while. Like if I don't eat, and then I eat something too fast, it'll fucking like, I don't know what it is, but it gets stuck in like that little pocket of the top of your stomach, and then it just like the only answer is to just throw it up, throw everything up. So I ordered this giant turkey leg that they had there at one of the stalls.
I heard it sucks compared to the Disneyland one.
Yeah, it is not as good, but it was all right. It tasted okay. It
wasn't a Swanson?
No, it was
a giant turkey leg wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, no, it wasn't one of those. I wish that would have been awesome, but it was just a big ass turkey leg, and I got 2 things of corn, and I am eating this giant turkey leg. I didn't eat anything like all day, and I'm starving, and I've been carrying, a 6-year-old around on my shoulders essentially the entire day. Katie logged it on her watch. I wasn't really paying attention to mine, but yeah, it was like 7 fucking something miles walking around the whole day. And I did pretty much the entire thing with the exception of like when we went from one exhibit to another, because I just needed like a fucking break. I did the whole park with Chloe on my shoulders basically. And that was fucking intense. But I get this turkey leg and I jam this thing. And I gave Chloe some too, and she loved it. She was like, oh, this.
Wow,
she's like,
surprisingly.
Yeah, and she's like, can I eat that off of the leg part? And I said, hell yeah. So I gave it to her, and she just ripped a piece off, and I said, yeah, all right. Pretty soon you'll be eating steak. But anyways, so I'm sitting there eating it, and they're going and feeding the sea lions. And I'm sitting over in the corner. There's this gull watching me, looking at my shit, wanting to get my corn. And I'm like, fuck off. So I'm sitting there and I'm just jamming this thing because I'm starving. And I feel it in my thing. I'm like, oh no. Like the stomach acid has like, it was too much or something. I don't know. I was like, oh, I'm going to throw this up all fucking right now. And so I look around and there's no one around because I'm in this little area and I'm like, yep, there's nothing I can do. This is happening. So I just fucking turn into the bushes and and what sucked is I hadn't been drinking a lot of water, so I was dehydrated. So I was throwing up like solid pieces, not like liquid throw up, you know? Yeah.
Quick, make the sound of a dying giraffe.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad, man. It sucked. It was horrible. Like pieces were getting stuck in my throat, and then I was having to like swallow them back down because they weren't far enough to cough up, basically. It was disgusting. But anyways, other than that, the day was great. We had a great time. It was fun as hell. Chloe loved it. She got a giant fucking shamu, a giant fucking dolphin, and then a little rainbow sea lion that they had.
I mean, don't you feel a little guilty for the animals, though?
For what? The animals that are in captivity?
Yeah.
No. Why would I feel guilty for them? They were all rescued. I mean, according to SeaWorld.
You believe them?
I mean, no, but I mean, I take it at face value for now.
Okay, how many water parks out there that do things like SeaWorld?
SeaWorld, basically, and that's it. There's 2 SeaWorlds, one here and one in Florida.
And there's a bunch of other like no
names, maybe. Yeah.
And SeaWorld's the only one that has their fucking whales kill the trainers.
Well, I will say they stopped doing that stuff because they aren't doing any of those tricks anymore.
And on top of that, I just saw a poster now too, and it made me think about it. It's like, oh, you guys were complaining about being in COVID and you locked in your apartments for a couple months. Can you imagine spending your entire life swimming in a circle?
Yeah, that'd be fucking pretty miserable. I mean, they seem to be loving it. They seem to be, just enjoying it, having a great time.
They've already killed 2 trainers.
Yeah, that was years ago, though. They haven't killed any recently. I don't think.
And that's your justification?
No, I'm just being an asshole. Of course I feel sorry for the fucking animals that are locked in a cage. That sucks. That would suck. That sucks when we do it. When we get locked in cages, it's terrible. Why would it be any different for animals?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like...
Now, granted, if it's something where, like, they wouldn't survive out in the wild and they just die anyways, I mean, I don't even know if that's justification enough to lock them in a cage and have them do tricks, because at least they'd be free, I guess, right?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just... SeaWorld is one of those things where I'm like... Yeah, it's cool. They do a lot of cool shit, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. I still feel for those animals, and at the same time, I'm like, if what they say is true, they're helping these animals. But yeah. I don't believe SeaWorld.
No, because I do think that there's a certain cost effectiveness that they need to maintain. So something's going to get cut. It's going to be in taking care of the animals.
It's like the whole... a practice I hate a lot that is still practiced this day is whale hunting.
Yeah, okay.
And there's like 3 groups of people that are allowed to do it.
Yeah.
The natives in Alaska, the natives in some other part of the world, I can't remember who they were, and the Japanese.
Yeah.
The only difference between those 3 is that the natives do it using native hunting methods.
Yeah.
The Japanese go full on. The whaling industry is pretty much their navy.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason that the Japanese are allowed to do it is because they're opening up their stomachs to study what they're eating. So they're saying it's studies. So it's not
educational.
So it's not. They said it's part of conservation because we're seeing what they're eating, and that's where I feel like, oh, hey, we already killed it to see what's in the stomach contents.
Might as well just sell it.
Might as well just gut it and fish and all that.
Fun further research.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
And I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't see any justifications on that one. Do we need to kill 80 whales a day just to see what they're eating?
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit, to be honest with you?
If that was the case, 2 or 3 a month should suffice.
Yeah, that should do it. 1 a week. I'd give them 1 a week, you know?
Just to see what they're eating. But it's like, and there's no regulation. Like, I hate this. I hate these people too. The she shepherds, the ones that try to fight them and stop them from hunting whales.
Yeah.
They're literally the only ones that are catching and doing this illegal shit.
Right.
But then the world court's like, you guys are terrorists, so we're not going to listen to what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to believe the Japanese because they've never done anything wrong in their life.
Oh, yeah.
So they sell used girls' panties in vending
In
machines?
vending machines. You can get them anywhere.
Look at that.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about that.
What does that have to do with this?
Yeah, what does that have to do with killing
Like,
whales?
what does that have to do with this? Was that something? Well, I'm just saying, like, I see it in the same sublight.
Yeah.
Or subline. What's it called? Limelight?
Yeah, under the same guise.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because in the South Park episode, the Japanese invade SeaWorld to start killing all the fucking dolphins and whales.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just, I understand that you have to study stomach contacts,
Right.
but does that justify like 800 fucking whales a day, fucking season or whatever? I'm not saying that's the actual number. I'm just.
No, I'm listening.
Sure you are.
No, I am.
What now?
God, the second you get paid, Amazon, Target, multiple hundreds of dollar purchases. The second we get paid,
She's
it's like,
quick.
oh yeah, that's what she was waiting up for. Well, you know what? It needed to get done, and I wouldn't have done it. So,
I don't know where my phone went.
anyways,
I need to keep me entertained.
fuck off.
All right. Anyway,
So yeah, I don't like. I mean, it is fun to be like fighting the man on whaling or whatever, because that's just fun to fuck with people.
to what?
Like the Sea Shepherd thing. I would do it just to be fucking with people, like whatever. That's just fun. Like I like fucking with people, but those people are also kind of assholes. The way they do it, they're just assholes in general that just happen to be doing maybe like a good cause or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But
I mean, they're sticking their nose up at people. You know that for sure.
oh yeah, 100%. So
Like I watched that show they used to do, and like they were doing like a change of the guard because the people who were volunteering had to go back and fucking work.
yeah,
And there was this one lady. Oh, if you can't fight, then you shouldn't be on here. Like,
it's terrible.
yeah, I'm like, okay, what was that one episode where the captain pretended to get shot by the Japanese?
Oh yeah,
it was the stupidest fucking thing ever.
that was, man. And that's the thing. That show was just for ratings too. Like that show was not. That was garbage, man.
And they have people like Bob Barker who donated like $5 million to them so they can buy a new boat.
Yeah,
Which they named the Bob Barker. I mean, they don't have it now. They got rid of it.
yeah.
Because they buy those boats used.
Right.
So they ain't got much life left in them anyway.
Yeah, well, they ain't fucking like taking care of them either. But, anyways, so I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about SeaWorld. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Now let's get into the new segment.
Hold on, I gotta pee.
Oh, you gotta pee. All right. Well, here I'll pause it real quick
Before this bullshit.
And I swear to God, why? Why do you have to fucking undermine everything I say?
Because you do it to me all the time.
When?
Anytime we talk about like, oh man, there's this YouTube group I like. Let's fucking make enemies of them. And
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
like, fuck you. Okay, so don't get mad when you get your medicine back.
But that's different.
It's exactly the same.
All right. Well, I'll pause this. Hold on. I'll pause this. We'll be right back. You're not gonna hear that the whole time. It's just gonna be like 5 seconds. You won't even notice it. All right. See, we're back. See, you didn't even fucking notice. What? Oh, well, I thought it was already up. Anyways, Frank is adjusting his microphone back. But anyways, while he's doing that, man, I had to go upstairs real quick because Katie had these earrings or whatever, and they had this like little plastic backing on it that was supposed to like keep it secure to your ear. And on her one ear, the plastic thing like dug into the hole and like was like inside her fucking ear, man. I had to pull it out. It was pretty fucking sweet. But she was like, "Oh yeah, it feels a lot better immediately." I was like, "Oh good." Put some Neosporin on it, rubbed a little dirt in it, call it a day. So, anyways, now we're gonna get into the idiot entrepreneur segment that I'm calling, which I guess is probably just gonna be the name now that I've said it, and it'll just continue to be that. Yeah. What?
None?
Oh, so anyways, so. This one we're going to talk about, and basically idiot entrepreneur is stupid shit that I've come up with over the years to try and make money. This one Frank was here for, which this one was in the year 2006. We had just graduated high school, and we decided that we were going to get in on the craze of mixed martial arts, and we were going to create a UFC type organization specifically out here in Southern California. So we enlisted the help of a couple other people. You could have at least tossed me a whole grape instead of just the stem. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He spit on it. And he didn't even pull the stem out. Dick move. Man, those are good. Anyways, so we enlisted the help of a few other individuals. A couple of people that I had known from earlier on. And we had there's probably 5 of us? Maybe 6? I had one guy who was an artist put together a logo, which was it was like a Trojan, like the Trojan head, like inside profile in a circle on one side, and then it was like 3 stripes, and it just said, it was blue, white, and blue, and it just says like Spartan Fighting Systems, right? That's what it was. And so we were gonna be a legitimate thing. We got all the fucking paperwork. We were going to put on a legitimate fucking event. We were going through all the paperwork, getting everything ready to be shit, man. We went through what was it? It was the California Athletic Commission or something like that.
Shit like that.
It was some shit like that. We had basically, and at the time, it was super easy to get this stuff. Like, you didn't even need to really you didn't have to take a test. Like, you didn't have to do anything. You basically just had to pay a fee and get your fingerprints done, and you could be licensed as a referee, as a promoter, like, super easy. So now, granted, we were,
dumbasses,
basically 18 years old and idiots. It's probably for the best that this thing didn't actually work, because the liability alone that we would have fucking faced by the way that we did this so fucking bootleg, if we would have actually been able to pull off doing essentially a backyard wrestling event in someone's backyard, which is kind of like what we were aiming for, because we had tried looking into legitimate venues. And I remember I had called around to some concert venues around here, and this was back when the Showcase was still a thing, and was basically just an empty fucking room with a stage. And we could have easily set up, because I had all the shit ready to go for the rental for the cage for the fencing. Basically, we had the mat shit. We figured out how to make the ring. Like,
oh yeah,
we fucking figured out all that shit. And I was like, cool, we're going to set this up. I even had sent in a couple, because one of the guys was going to be the referee, because there was some dumb thing where you couldn't be licensed as the promoters and also be the referees. Like, you had to be Like you couldn't like if whoever was the referees couldn't be like owners of the company or whatever. It was like some weird conflict of interest rule. So like the one dude that we had that was like he was there, he was going to be the referee. He had already sent his shit in and got like approved to be like licensed as a referee. And I had sent in the paperwork to get approved. Now, granted, like we had everything. Well, not everything, but we had, as far as like the government was concerned, the everything in order as far as they were concerned to go ahead and host an event. Right now, we just didn't have a place to do it. We didn't have any fucking money to like pay people to be in it, which obviously is something that, you know, you need.
A necessity.
The people we had essentially, I think we had a couple of individuals confirmed. I think we had 2 people confirmed that were going to fight. Mm-hmm. And they were like, obviously nobody's, but this was at the time when if you had no future, you could likely legitimately make money in MMA if you were decent at fighting, or you could, you know, learn, right? Mm-hmm. So we had some guys that were like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And we basically had a deal with them where we were going to give them a percentage of the gate. Like we weren't going to pay them any money up front because we had no money. We were going to pay them a percentage of the gate. We were going to do, just like you see on the side of the freeway, when you get off on the on-ramp and they have on all the light poles, fucking stickered to the light poles, fucking, this week, Lil Shaggy Weezy at this shitty venue concert live, tickets $5, right? That's basically what we were going to do. And we were like, fuck it. Even if we only put on one fucking fight, we'll record it. And then maybe we'll try and sell it as a pay-per-view for like $5 or $1.99 or something like that. Something ridiculous. So I remember we had our business meetings at the old round table.
And In and Out.
And In and Out. we had our business meetings there. And man, that was the most... it was the most fucking freest shit ever, but also the most amateur shit ever at the same time. Because it was like, man, we were doing this and like no one was going to tell us we weren't going to do it. And we thought this was the greatest fucking idea ever. Or at least I did. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody involved, but
I know we spent one day just going around Corona, just looking for places to rent out.
Yeah. We were literally looking at like warehouses. Like, shit, man. If there was someone that had a for rent sign on it, we were like looking and calling and being like, hey, listen, what if we just needed it for a day? Like, what about that? Or sure, if we wanted to rent it for a month, okay, it was going to be $3,000. But then we were like, okay, shit. If we put together $3,000 and rent this for a month, we could do 1 show a weekend or 2 shows a weekend and do 8 shows in a month. And then, okay, cool. If we sell, because they were just like these warehouses that just had bay doors. Fuck, if we sold, you know, if we charged fucking $10 to get in and we charge, you know, what, 100 people, $10, that's $1,000, right? So if we were doing that every weekend and we were doing 2 of those, in 3 days, we'd theoretically make our money back if we got 100 people to show up on 3 weekends, right? So we'd make the money back that it was costing us. And then that would be just in 3 shows. So that'd be like in the first week and a half if we did it on Saturday and Sunday over 4 weeks. Shit, we could do that. But the problem was getting people that were willing to fight each other
For essentially chump change.
For essentially nothing, because it would have just been... Because that was our deal. It was a percentage of profits after the expenses were paid. So it was like after... And our only expenses were the venue itself, the fencing, and essentially the ring stuff that we were like renting to build, to put together. So all in all, if we were going to go that route, really the fencing and the shit for like a weekend was, fuck, man, it was nothing. It was like cheap. It was like a couple $100
back then.
Yeah. Because we didn't need a whole lot of fencing because the cage was like 12 feet by like, it was, we were just going to make it like an octagon shape and just, it was going to be like whatever, 12 feet by like 12 feet or whatever the standard regulation UFC ring was at the time. And then literally just put a fence around it.
Literally everything we were buying was we were gonna get from the same people that make the Spanish announce tables for WWE.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that was our main supplier. And hopefully we were gonna have spots where people would have broke through the cage and it was gonna be fucking excellent. But when the one thing that it came down to was like just not having that initial bunch of money to like get. The fuck was that?
It was your dog.
It was not having the money to get that initial.
That was just like really good for it.
It could have been.
I saw him lift his tail.
Oh, nice. It was just not having the initial money to get the venue, right? So then we started thinking about, okay, could we do this in someone's backyard? Because obviously we were fans of wrestling. Backyard wrestling was a thing. So we said, fuck it. Why can't we do backyard UFC or backyard MMA or whatever the fuck, right? Maybe that's our gimmick. Maybe that's what we like pivot to since we've done all this bullshit and then realize now that we don't have the money to fucking get a place to do it at. And any venue I talked to was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. This was still when the mainstream people didn't have an appetite for mixed martial arts at all. That was seen as like blood sport or whatever. They didn't want that taint coming to their deal. It wasn't as bad. It was being more accepted, but like, yeah, places like Vegas were doing it. Nowhere in Southern California was fucking really doing it at that time.
She can hear me, can she?
No.
You know what's funny?
What?
You know who Mike Tyson's credited for his career?
Who?
Somebody he credits.
Oh, who's that?
Trump.
Oh, really?
I guess he was the first person in Vegas that allowed him to have a match.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace.
Was that what he owned back then, huh?
I think he owned Caesar's Palace back then.
Or was a part owner at least.
Something, yeah.
And I guess the other thing he was telling that he would also only hire or he was known for hiring a lot of black people too. So that's why Mike Tyson was like, yeah, that's my dog right there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It was like, it's so weird when you hear shit like that about him.
Yeah.
That was also fucking weird that I found out recently.
What?
There's like 3 protest leaders for during the remember the Mexican.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I won't call it the Mexican Revolution, but when the Latino community was starting to have like the Zoot Suit riots were happening, shit like that. One of the places that were protesting was Dodger Stadium. 3 of them are buried on the Dodger Stadium.
Oh really?
Allegedly.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I'm like, oh, that's the history the Dodgers don't want you to look into.
Yeah, true story. But anyways,
back to our stupid system.
Back to our Spartan Fighting Systems. I actually, after all that, we were set to do it at this one dude's backyard, like at his house. His parents were going to be like gone for the weekend, and we were going to rent chairs. We were going to fucking we were going to rent lighting. We had it all set up. It was only going to cost us like, I think it was like $1,500 was the total price to get all this shit we needed. And then we were going to sell tickets, and then we were going to record it. And we were going to fucking put it as some sort of, we're going to sell it somehow, right? And we had it all set up, ready to go. We were going to make the purchases like, I think the week or two before. And then the fucking guy was like, oh, hey, can't do it at my place anymore. I was like, why? Yeah, my parents, they're not going anywhere. So now they canceled their vacation or whatever they're doing. So now we can't, they're going to be home. So I'm like, fuck. So in the end, that came down to this whole thing falling apart because we couldn't find a place because our last ditch effort that is doing it at someone's house, their parents couldn't, they were going to be home. So we couldn't fucking do this. Now, granted, in hindsight, that was probably the best thing that could have ever fucking happened to us. Yeah. That didn't happen because of the simple fact that insurance. We had zero insurance. We didn't even know what the fuck insurance was at that time. I also didn't realize that like you did technically need like we did have somebody because you needed like a medical professional at the time, but because they were like not like the state gaming commission was behind back then, or the state athletic commission was behind back then, and you didn't have to have technically a physician. It just had to be like someone that was a paramedic or EMT. That was it. Like that was a minimum. So we had somebody who was like an EMT, but they didn't know shit about anything. Like They were an idiot. So whatever, we had that minimally. But man, if someone would have got legitimately hurt,
that'd been the end of us.
We would have been fucked. We would have been dead. We would have probably been in jail because of that. And I don't know. Part of the reason why I thought about doing this series was because I was thinking about this like a month ago. I don't know why, but these memories just like flooded back into my head about.
It happens every so often.
Huh?
It happens every so often.
Right? Yeah. And then it got me thinking about. Well, I think it was the one thing that got me thinking about it was like when I used to do the prank phone calls, and I was trying to be like the fucking like that. That got me really like, oh shit, like. And then I was like, man, what other stupid shit? And then it got me thinking about this Spartan Fighting Systems. Got me thinking about the time we did. I tried to fucking start a marble business with fucking getting old marble that was dumped at the back of our old school when I was in junior high, and we were going to take this marble and we were going to break it down, and then we were going to reconstitute it and then sell it as full marble pieces to people. Like we were going to make custom marble like countertops because that's what these were, and we were just going to reconstitute it somehow.
Don't worry about that. That was that fucking planter thing you were trying to do.
Oh yeah, the planter thing, like that was the fucking next level gardening. That was another thing that I still own the fucking PayPal and the email account for that. And then the very misguided and frankly just stupid idea of trying to start a fucking a porn company that one time.
Oh yeah.
And that's a hell of a good story. And that's another one that we're going to have to like do because that was a fucking story and a half.
Yeah.
And I will say
it was exactly the way I described Vegas. When you look at it from the surface, it's all glitz and glitter and beautiful. But then once you actually start paying attention, all you see is just human suffering.
Yeah, that's what it came down to, man. But that's a great story in and of itself, which we will do probably on the next one when we do one of these
6 months from now,
6 to 8 months, 6 to 8 business months from now. And
that's Josh time. Yeah,
exactly. So that's like 12 fucking years. So for this Spartan Fighting System thing, it kind of gave me an idea, and I don't know where it goes exactly, but I bought the fucking website for it again. Mm-hmm. Like I bought it because it was like $1.
Okay.
To do it. So I did SpartanFightingSystems.com and SFS was taken. So I did SpartanFS.com. That wasn't taken. So I just did that just because I don't know what.
No, see, the Spartan F says there's just going to be the Spartan Football Club.
No, because that's FC.
What'd you put?
This is FS because it's Fighting Systems. So my plan, or what I kind of formulated in my head, is because we like wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought, okay, we could never get away with doing a legitimate martial arts competition. Like, there's no fucking way.
No.
But something that appears to be that has kind of already existed in the past and is scripted was the WMAC, the World Martial Arts Council tournament, which I don't know if you remember. The WMAC was a show that was on, I think it was on Fox.
Yeah, I was the one that always brings this up.
Right. And so I used to love that show.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, man, what if from a crazy idea from damn near almost 20 years ago, we take that, and maybe, I don't know what it needs to be called, but what if we took that and instead of making them like Mortal Kombat characters, that's kind of what those guys were. There was a cyborg guy, there was a dude who did magic, like there was a Sub-Zero character. They were basically, there was a Liu Kang guy, there was a Hollywood dude for fucking, what's his name?
Johnny
Cage or whatever.
Get on with it. Stop naming off the roster.
Yeah, well, whatever. I just like Mortal Kombat. But anyways, what if we did it like historical figures? Like it was
kind of like epic rap battles of history,
kind of, but with fighting. And it's obviously their gimmick. It's going to be like fixed or whatever, because you can't have a legitimate competition where you're going to actually kill people. But what if we make it like pro wrestling mixed with historical characters, and that's what Spartan Fighting Systems is. It's like
there's this episode of The Simpsons.
Uh-huh.
It's a Halloween horror.
Uh-huh.
What was that name of that? It was the name of a book. I think they made it into a movie where they got the rich people got a bunch of people, poor people, and threw them on an island so they could hunt them.
Oh yeah, okay. The most dangerous game.
Yeah, and it basically was that. And Burns is like telling them, "Yeah, I'm gonna hunt you for sport."
Yeah.
And then there's a character that's the lawyer. It's like, that's not legal. How is this legal? He goes, "You're my lawyer. Tell me." He goes, you did claim killing people as part of your religion. Give me 15 minutes. He's like working something up. And there you go. Now you're covered. Cool. And they just fucking shoots him. In another episode, The Simpsons, Lisa, they're telling stories, and Lisa was going to say the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And so that same lawyer character comes up. You can't say that. It's copyrighted. And that's owned by the Disney Corporation. Goes, no, you can't own that. It's an old folklore song. Are they going to be dwarves? Yes, but they're going to be my own personal creation and they're at a salon getting their nails done. He goes, okay, fine, but I'm watching you. And he turns over to the lady and he pulls up his hand. He's got like big ass fucking nails. Can you sharpen these, please? Just scummy lawyers are.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, hang on a second. I'll be right back. I gotta go. Katie needs me for something. All right. So, anyways, yeah, man. I don't know. I think that's something that could be doable now under the Game Rage banner.
Yeah, possibly. Or possibly this ends up in a segment for this later on.
Yeah, that's true. We could talk about it'll be Spartan Fighting Systems Part 2 of idiot entrepreneurial ideas. But it would be great if it was Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. We will probably be able to do a whole series on it of if we can get it actually up and going, and then why it fucking failed.
What's the name of the Bone Daddy's at? Electric Boogaloo?
It was like Bone Daddy
4, I think.
4 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, because Bone Daddy 1 was just
the boning.
No. Skeletons in the Closet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Skeletons in the Closet.
Bone Daddy 2, the search for Bone Daddy 1.
The first Bone Daddy 1.
And Bone Daddy 3 was the boning.
The boning, and then Bone Daddy 4 was Bone Daddy 3 Electric Boogaloo?
It was Bone Daddy has the bone to pick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Then Bone Daddy 4 Electric Boogaloo.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, man. Spartan Fighting Systems, excellent fucking...
Don't forget about the video game we tried to make with it, too.
Oh, yeah.
We had proposed for it.
Yeah, Man, we were so ahead of ourselves, man. Like, we were literally already at Z, and we hadn't even fucking done A, which was
everything.
B, which was exist. Like, I will say, I mean, it's and this kind of like the reason why I wanted to talk about these things on as like its own little thing was just because of the simple fact that if you're listening and you're out there and you have had shitty, stupid ideas that have failed and you want to fucking quit or stop doing whatever it is that you're doing, just remember that it's not likely that your first idea is going to be the thing that works. It's probably not. Or it's going to take a multitude of variations to get to whatever the end product is. But that first draft is never going to be the final product. And it's very rare that happens. It's very fucking rare. It's more likely that you will essentially be having to just do perseverance and just not quit and just keep pushing it forward to eventually figure out what it is that is going to be the thing that is successful for you. And, we've been through multiple various forms of, hell, even this show, the BFN show, has existed in multiple different formats and different ways. Mm-hmm. And only now in this format that it's in has it gotten to a modicum of a level of success, right? Our previous incarnations of it, we could do a whole segment on the previous incarnations of this own show itself. Yeah. Because granted, some of those things were fucking hilarious back in, 2008 when we did them. Now, I don't know. Maybe not so much. I mean, I still think they're funny, but
say that she's dead. Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, the Joan Rivers thing, nobody's going to even fucking understand. But that was funny as fuck back then. So, anyways, I guess my point is just, fucking don't give up. Just don't be an asshole, you know? Just keep it going because your shit's going to fail. Did you have any other comments about the Spartan Fighting Systems at all? Anything that I left out, perhaps, that you recall? No?
Not really.
All right. You got anything else for the episode?
You're an asshole.
I knew it.
No.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
No, just the one.
I knew it. I'm in a room with one asshole.
And you're him.
Yep. True story. It was me all along.
It was me, Austin.
Oh, man. Anyways. All right. Well, I guess we'll just end the episode here. So thanks for listening. And stay tuned for the, future versions of Idiot Entrepreneur and the stupid ass fucking ideas that I have had over the years. And will likely continue to have. But also look out for the Spartan Fighting Systems video game coming soon to you. Coming soon to you. You can go to GameRageMagazine.com to purchase that when it comes out in 2037. But seriously, if you do want to listen to our other shit, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at GameRageMagazine, at GameRageMagazine. Twitter/X is at GameRageMag. Frank with the Anime Syndicate podcast is at anime_syndicate_podcast. You can check out all of the future wonderful anime news and reviews and things he's going to talk about on there. And with that, just remember I'm an asshole and you can go fuck yourself. So get fucked.
This has been the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also visit our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com, for a host of other podcasts and more. Thanks for listening.